Hey everybody, it's been a while. Chef Eric Hammond. And today we're going to make Guinness braised beef stew. It's really cold in Chicago today and for the next couple days, so I figured it's going to be a really great dish to prepare in such cold weather. So your mise en place is as follows. You need some beef stew meat, you need some bacon, carrot, celery, onions, garlic, mushrooms, potatoes, chopped thyme, some beef broth, of course, Guinness, and to thicken all this up, you're going to need some Wondra flour. You could use all-purpose flour, whatever you want to use. So to start, you want to get a pan hot, and you want to render your bacon. Make it crispy and get all the fat out of there. Just get it in a pot. There's enough fat in this where you don't need to add any oil. So you're just going to start cooking this down. And in about 5-10 minutes, you'll see that it's going to be very crispy. You want to dice your bacon, as they call it in French, lardons. So, as you can see, it's the fat starting to render now. And just keep it going until it becomes golden brown. As you can see, the bacon's rendering, all the fat's coming out, and it's getting golden brown and nice and crispy. This is ready to come out of the pan. So turn off the heat. And you want to take this bacon using a slotted spoon, get it, letting all the grease come out, and put it into the stock pot that you're going to be cooking the stew in. But you want to save all the grease because this is gold. This is flavor, and this is what's going to really bring your stew up to the next level. If there's a lot of grease, and this is a lot of bacon fat, you could remove some of it into a cup and reserve it for another time, because this is flavor when you're cooking it another time. So now you want to put your heat on again, and we want to brown the beef in the bacon fat. So you just want to take your beef and get it into this pan, like so. Don't overcrowd the pan, because you're going to end up poaching the beef and not searing the beef. It's very important not to overcrowd your pan. So I'll do a little bit at a time like this, and we'll probably have to do this in 3 batches. So once your beef is nice and brown, you want to get it into the pan or the same pot with the bacon and start the next batch of beef. Like I said, season it with salt and pepper and just let it sit until it starts caramelizing. So now that the meat is all browned, you want to put the pan back on the stove with the rest of the bacon fat, like so. Get it smoking hot and start adding your vegetables. You want to start with the garlic and get that golden brown. I cut the garlic like this because although there's more surface area, less of the oil is going to be coming out of that, and that's going to keep it from being too bitter. Get this nice and golden brown, like so, in the bacon grease. You can see it's starting to turn color now. Now to this, you want to add your carrots, celery, and your onions. Just like that. And you want to caramelize these. The caramelization is a really important step. It's going to add depth and a lot of flavor. You also want to season this with salt and pepper. Basically, you want to season your food every step of the way. This deepens your flavors, like so. Boom. Then you want to add your chopped thyme into this. And it's going to start getting, you're going to start caramelizing it, and it's going to start giving a lot of flavor that's going to go into the pot of stew. You can start seeing that the mirepoix is starting to caramelize. So this is almost ready to go into the pot. And then you're going to deglaze this pan with the Guinness. Deglazing is basically taking this and getting all the nice, delicious burned things off the bottom of the pot. So now this is ready to go into the pot with the beef and the bacon. So you just want to turn that off, lift this, and just get it in there, just like that. Okay, now all this burnt stuff on the bottom, you want that. So, this is what we're gonna do. Turn that back on. You're gonna open your can of Guinness now. Or you're using a bottle, you could use a bottle. And just get that in the pan like this. And scrape up all the stuff that's stuck on the bottom. This is called deglazing your pan. You know, you could use this if you don't want to make a Guinness beef stew. You could use red wine, or no alcohol at all. I mean, your options for this are endless. So while the Guinness is coming to the boil and deglazing the pan, you want to add your thickening agent to this, and this is where you use your Wondra flour. So you just want to get some in there. This is super refined flour, and it's not going to leave any lumps. So you want to put like maybe half a cup for this amount that I'm making, and just mix it all together. And this is going to thicken it up during the cooking process. Just like so. You want to get it all mixed. Then you don't want lumps. That's the most important thing. So I'm using Wondra because this really won't leave you any lumps. If you're using all-purpose flour, you're going to have to stir this a little bit more. You know, conversely, you could use a slurry, which is cold water and cornstarch, to help thicken it up. Once that's all together, you want to add your mushrooms straight into the pot and your potatoes. There's going to be a lot of stew, as you can tell. Give it another stir. Make sure it's all together in there. Now, you want to add your Guinness. Now, I'm going to add more Guinness to this, but this is just to show you. See all the souks that came up once you scrub it out? And of course, you're not going to get everything out, but you'll get a good portion of it out. So your next step is to start reducing your Guinness down. The more you reduce, the more intense of the flavor it's going to be. So now you want to add your beef broth, and you want to add enough to cover the meat. So just add it all in there. Give it a stir. And you can see that it's already starting to thicken from the Wondra flour that I used. Again, Wondra flour is super refined flour. That's great for gravies, sauces, and stews. It's a great thickening agent. Want to bring this to the boil? Put a lid on it and put it in a 325-degree oven, preheated. The reason I'm putting it in the oven and not doing it on top of the stove, because there's not going to be any direct heat under the pot, so it is less likely to burn. So now that it's at the boil, you want to turn off the heat. You want to get a lid on it, and you want to get it into the oven. So when it's done, you're going to have a beautiful, thick beef stew. Look at that. This is absolutely stunning. The Wonder flour really thickens it up, and it leaves no lumps, as you can see. You know, if I were doing it in the restaurant, I'd have done a few steps differently. I would have done everything in the same pot, but I don't have that kind of equipment, and I don't have that kind of space. So it's very, very acceptable to do things separately like I did now. I hope you make this. I hope you enjoy this. You know, I can smell the bacon and the beef coming off of this. It is really a fantastic beef stew. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at cheferichammond.com, and please subscribe to my Instagram, #ChefEricHammond. Have a great evening, and this is fantastic for such a cold night. Bye.